Some special guests who've just walked into the building. How are you guys doing? And Eric, I want you to help our guest there with the mic.
All right.
So that the mic is right next to her.
Yes, I think she's comfortable now.
Yeah, she is.
Karibuni sana.
Karibuni sana. How are you guys doing?
Very good, thank you.
We are
You're
joined.
far, we can't hear you.
We are joined in studio as
Just pull it.
she's moving towards her mic.
Yes.
Yes, we're joined in studio by Nyasha Kadandara, director of BBC Africa Eye. Have I pronounced that correctly?
Yes, thank you.
How do you rate my pronunciation out of 5?
It was a
Two, just be honest. It's okay, girl.
She's
good
my
4.
resident
It was a
hater.
good
A good 4.
A good 4.
Yeah, that deserves, I would have, but I can't find the applause button.
Because you know she's just being nice.
Yeah, no, she's being honest. We are also joined by Grace Kaleche. Hi, Grace.
Hello.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
Yeah, Karibu sana. We are the adults in the room. My name is Emmanuel. All right. This is Eric, and this is Barbara. All right. There's normally someone else who is called the Mskilizaji, who normally sits there, but you've
taken over the role.
You've taken over the chair. So
But they are still around.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
So Karibu sana. Today we're going to talk about human trafficking. We're the home of authentic conversation. So what we do here is we just have real conversations about everything, and I'm sure Eric and Barbara are going to share more. But it's just a space where you can just speak. You don't need to hold back. You can just speak from the depth of your heart. If you think Eric's coat is not so nice, you just tell him. You just tell him next time as I come as a guest, I need you to wear a better coat. Eric, have I said it like it is, brother?
Yeah, totally. Thank you so much for finding the time to come. And we appreciate you. We're looking forward to have a very interesting conversation about the good work you're doing and what you've done. So, Karibu sana. Feel comfortable. All right.
Karibu nyumbani.
Yeah. You can ask for tea, samosas, nini. Yeah, don't hold nothing back.
Yes.
Yes.
In fact, Barbara is our resident baker who's never brought for us any cake.
Because they don't eat sweet things. Apparently, another one is going to the gym there.
Okay.
So he works with a nutritionist. And another
Very
one
healthy.
stopped eating sweet things for a year. So really, what can you bring?
Mm-hmm.
So the only person I can bring is producer and the rest.
So
Alrighty.
today we're going to talk about sex trafficking. That's why we have this guest in the building. And thank you so much, guys, for making time. As usual, I'm going to swing it to Eric to break it down, and then we're just going to dive into the conversation.
Totally. So let's start with the definition. Sex trafficking is defined, at least from the dictionary or by the dictionary, as is human trafficking for the purposes of sex exploitation, including sexual slavery. A victim forced in one of the variety of ways into a situation of dependency on their traffickers by their traffickers, and then used by the said trafficker to give sex services to customers. I was reading further down, and I was I was very ignorant about sex trafficking as a whole. But I read that Pakistan, Thailand, China, and India and Bangladesh are in the top 10 in countries largest with largest in trafficking victims around the world. So India tops all of these countries. India is top of the list with 14 million victims who've been sex trafficked. China comes a distant second with 3.2 million. All right, these according to research. And then 3.2 million. And then number 3 is Pakistan, third with 2.1 million. Those are not thousands. Million victims. And I just wanted to start by asking, why is India leading in sex trafficking?
Well, that's a very big question because, one of the things you have to understand about sex trafficking is different cross regions. There's a lot of internal trafficking that happens as well as cross-border trafficking. And I'm not qualified enough to explain all of those different sort of routes in which women have been moved across different lines.
Yes.
We focus specifically on Kenya and East Africa to India. Bearing in mind that we also met women coming from, for instance, Nigeria, which is a different part of Africa, or Rwanda going further south.
What motivated you to do that documentary? I think I happened to see it last night. What motivated you, despite Grace crying or calling you out or asking for help? But what was the real motivation behind it?
I mean, I'm a journalist, I'm a storyteller, was supposed to hold truth to power and hold people account. So when the story was right in front of me, it would have been irresponsible of me not to have done the story, especially when someone I know is being directly affected. And when I was looking online, I wasn't getting enough information about what was happening. So it meant that not only did we need to create awareness so that other people, and Grace can expand more on this, are not see that this is actually happening. When the next time they get a WhatsApp message saying, come work here, you'll earn lots of money, they actually decide, you know what, this doesn't quite sound legit, I'm not going to go. So just to bring awareness and also to help the people that are already inside India who are trapped and are living in a legal status and want to come back home.
Just to get everyone into context, our guests today, they did a story together. Nyasha and Grace did a story together, and Nyasha is the one who directed the story. The story is called "Imported from My Body: The African Women Trafficked to India for Sex," and you can check out that story on YouTube. It's a compelling story, man. If you need to, you just need to watch it, just to know the gravity of it and how. It's just a story you need to watch. And how did you guys meet? Just before you get to Grace, how did you guys? What's your history like before this? How did you guys become friends?
So Grace and I have known each other since 2017, which is when I started looking at the sugar daddy sponsor culture in Kenya, and I did a story for BBC Africa Eye previously on that. And so we knew each other in that capacity, as Grace had been one of the women that had been profiled, and we just stayed in touch. And so I was contacting her actually to let her know that the piece was coming out, and where she was. I had been away for some time, and that's when I found out she was in India.
All right. So, hi, Grace.
Hello.
Welcome once again. I'd just like you to introduce yourself and tell us the story of, especially from the beginning, like how did you get from Kenya and then now get to go to India?
So my name is Grace.
Yes.
And in Kenya, I was just a hustler.
Yes.
Like I was just waiting for any kind of small opportunity in Akuja. I grab it and I do it. I was a dancer, but I was also hosting karaoke shows. I'm a singer. And also I was acting. So you see, today I get a show, I go dance. Tomorrow I don't get a show. The other day I go and host karaoke. The other day I'm home. And I have a kid and also my family.
How old is your child?
She's 6 now. Yes, so I needed to also support my mom because she's not that fortunate. So I worked as a dancer for quite some time, like I think for like 2 years. And then I was like, I just wanted to make my life like better than that, because I can't live every day. I just go and dance, and then I come home after I pay my daughter's school fees and pay my rent and maybe feed us. I'm done. I don't have money again in my account. I don't even have emergency money. Like if anything happens, I have to start looking for help. So I wanted that to stop. And so that's why when I got this text from the group asking for girls who would want to work in India, I saw it as an opportunity. And I saw it as a life-changing one. Because I didn't know the truth that was in India, but I talked to the lady and she convinced me that I was only going to be guiding tourists, and if I want to dance, like she can find shows, I can get shows because there are so many good clubs in India. And so I thought about it and I was like, if it pays better and the thing is legit, then why don't I do it?
She was a lady who knew you? Or you just met on the group?
Yes, we just met on the group. Yes, but she's a lady who knows my friends, and my friends.
So you were connected by someone?
Yes.
How long ago was this?
It was last year. It was 2018. 2017, but I can't remember the month so well. But it's before August because I traveled to India on August.
Okay.
So the lady says, "Apa, maze dancing, nini, unaweza
You
come."
can get a stable income.
Yes, and then you see now after asking a friend about the lady, she said, "Yes, I know her. She's a nice lady," and I was like, "Okay, so she could be telling the truth." And yes, I believed her, and she made it look so like, yani she's
It was
just
believable.
very believable.
And lucrative to your pocket and everything.
Yes, and then considering that yani I was in that time like so desperate to change my life and to change things the way they were, because I was now getting to that point. The shows are not coming the way they used to, and if they do, they're paying little money. I'm not making enough for my daughter and I.
Yeah, Grace, I feel you because I'm also an artist. I before I came here, I do stand-up comedy, so I know the way that money. Leo, it's there. Tomorrow, it's not there. It's very tough. Sometimes you call for a gig, then you're told, "Hey, we'll pay you next week," but like, "Hey, what the heck is this?" Well, I'm just gonna let you guys. They've just walked into the studio. I'm just gonna let them relax for at least 4 minutes.
Spice.
In Tara Camp, born in 1964, man. So
And she's going to pass out.
what do you mean?
That I don't know, sir.
That's a dinosaur.
I used to think 30 is really, really a big age until I hit 30, and then I started keeping quiet when people were talking about
Thank you.
it.
Because now I'm almost.
Jackie, no, you see for the 35 years.
Me, I'm almost clocking 40 for these days. I do. We don't talk about my age.
You know, now you can run for president, huh? When you're 35 and above, you can actually
Good
run.
Lord.
So we can run for women, right?
I think when you can run even earlier.
And then people
President
start
is for 35.
comparing you the things you've done with your life with your age.
I had. Is
I
it
don't
true
like
that after 30 you can't be a commercial pilot? Like they can't start training you to be a commercial pilot.
I don't
I
know.
Have
don't
you guys
know.
ever had that
No,
story?
I don't know that.
The last
Can you
time you
imagine?
heard something about pilots, it was gravely.
Yes, and we told you to go and investigate, and you've never come
I'm
back.
talking about commercial, like his is a
No, even
So
Boeing-
that's what I'm saying.
Boeing
I don't know,
767.
but
Yeah.
you remember the last time you said something
No,
that
I
was
remember.
a gross error about pilots.
Let's not say.
So I'm careful not to answer you because I don't know. I don't want pilots calling the show. Check it, my name is Captain Mwangi. There's a gentleman who said that pilots they will
Honestly.
make all of us look bad.
Yeah.
No, okay, that was. I'm not sure about that.
So don't say it on air. Keep it to yourself.
Man, we are the adults in the room. 21 minutes past 8 o'clock. We have some special guests in the studio right now. We have Grace Kaleche. And we also have Nyasha Kadandara, director of the BBC Africa Eye. Now, Nyasha and Grace, there's a story that you need to watch on YouTube. It's actually out on YouTube. It is like it's hot off the press. Imported for my body, the African women trafficked to India for sex. And we are so lucky to have Grace here in the flesh, to share more about the story. With us right here in the studio. Karibuni sana, Grace and Nyasha.
Nyasha, what does this is off the cuff? I don't mean to digress. What does Kadandara mean?
Oh, it's like a place, actually. I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're so withdrawn from your name. It's just like I think it's something.
Yeah. I'm used to being asked what my first name means, not my
All right.
last name.
Funny enough, when I get to know people well, I refer them by their second names.
Nyasha.
As in their last name.
Yeah, their last names.
Oh, I
That's
see,
very
I see.
interesting. So I was dating this girl once, and then I stopped calling her second name and called her first, and she was quite hard. You don't normally call me that. So I was like, I'm sorry.
Is that you're being romantic?
Yeah.
No, it's just like it's a habit I have. Like I've known him for a minute. I call him Kisiangani, but I call her Barbara. So when I know somebody enough, I call
Oh,
them by
so
their second
he's saying
name.
he doesn't know you.
Yeah, I know. He doesn't know me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yet.
He's not even trying, so
You're
don't worry.
pretending that.
Yeah, we are very really there. He's not even trying.
So, Kaleche.
Yes.
You guys have seen what I've done there.
Don't mind them. Sometimes they like behaving like
I
that.
know her now. So, Grace, you're telling us the story about how you left to India, and you left the story at you'd just gotten the message. You'd gone back and forth with this person in India, and they told you there are these opportunities there. And what happened from that? You decided to dive in.
Yes. Being in the situation that I was in, I was like so happy, so excited, because I was like, maybe this is what I've been praying for the whole of my life. Like the way I've been dreaming and seeing myself where I wish to be one day. Maybe I just need to take this one step and then I'll be there. So I agreed to coming to India. And then I arrived so well, and they came to the airport, they picked me, and on the way it was just good. Reached in the house, it was just a normal house. And at that time, my other sisters, the two other ladies who had come before me, were not in the house. They were both had gone to see their clients.
Oh, there were two people who you knew there.
No, I didn't know them
At the-
before
all right,
I went there.
all right.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
I just got there, and then I thought that I was the only one. But then after some time, like almost in the morning, that's when now the two ladies came, and I was told that they were my sisters. And then I was like, okay, I just understood still. It's my sisters. Like,
We stay in the same building.
yeah,
like that.
thank you. So I just understood it like that. And so the next day I wasn't feeling well. So I couldn't start working then. So after like 4 days, that's when now I was feeling good. I was okay. So she told me, now today you're ready. You're not going to go with me. You'll go with your sisters. Because usually it's the madam who usually takes the new girls to the kitchens, show them around, tell them this
At that
when
particular
this guy approaches you, this is how you go about it.
A question, at that particular time, did you know what you were getting into? Did they brief you, or you actually knew when you went with the sisters?
When I went with the sisters, that's when now I saw like
So all along you had been sick, you're in the house, no one is telling you that this is what
the
you're going
only
to do.
thing they are talking about is about the asker, about the chairman, about what usually happens if girls refuse to pay debt.
So it's a coded message.
Yeah, like it's like they were telling me something, but it's not like they're not telling me. But it's like they're threatening me, like to just know ahead, if I try anything, there's that story that I was told about this person who could take action.
The chairman now.
Yes. So that first night, the things that we discussed about mostly were they were telling me about, we were talking about men, of course, and then they're like, I'm just like, that's just usual talks, girl talks. And then now they're talking about the asker, and I asked them who is asker, what is asker, and they just said it's like a disciplinary council, like a group that disciplines the people who refuse to pay debts. And so I'm like, that point of debt, I still believe that the debt you're talking about is the money you used to bring me to India, because I didn't pay for anything. She's the one who did everything. She didn't even take my passport that same day, the day I came. That night we just drank, talked. We talked. They were not like precise. They were not telling me this is what you're going to do. They were not. The thing is that next day, she came to the room. She told me, give me your passport. Let me keep it for you safely. And I was like,
Did you feel that ding, 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 ding feeling? Like,
yes, but I was like,
You're in someone's house.
yeah, like, okay, I'm already here. I'm already in India. If I do anything stupid, of course, I'm in danger. And my dad, before I left Kenya, told me that you're going to a foreign land. You don't know anybody there. Just try and cooperate. Just try and be simple. Don't argue with people. Don't pick fights. Don't just relax.
He was being a parent. Yes. to you,
Yes.
yeah.
So I was just doing what my dad told me. I was just trying to be cool and trying to take things easily. So she told me she wanted to take the passport, and I gave it to her, you know. So the next day also I stayed in the house. The next day is now when I went to the kitchens with my sisters. And at the
For those who are
kitchen-
wondering, what's a kitchen?
Okay, the kitchens are those rooms. It's like a house. I just rent a house, and then I want to make it a club, but it's just a bar that only Africans go to drink.
All right.
Yes.
So no other race goes there except Africans.
No, just Africans.
so it's an illegal bar.
Yes. So that's when I went to the kitchen for the first time. It's my sisters who took me. So and then there's this guy who is asking me how much, and I'm like, what's he talking about? And then I went to my sister and asked her, and she didn't also explain to me still. Even after that guy asked me how much, and I went back to her, I asked her, he said how much? What does he mean? And
What is this he's talking about?
yeah, I was like, how much what? You know, you're not even saying how much for you or how much for your goats, how much for these, you just said how much. So I was like, okay, what does he mean? And my sister said, ask him if it's for a shot or a night.
Were your sisters Kenyans or from a different...
Kenyans.
The Kenyans.
Yes.
Okay.
So she told me to ask if it was for a shot or for a night, and I was like, oh, okay. So now it's hitting me. Now I'm understanding that it's really, really, really.
This is not what you signed up for.
Yes. So I just I didn't even go with that client first. I just ignored. Another one came in, and that's the one that I went with, and he just made my night like the worst. Like one of, I remember that night, to be specific, mostly because it was the first night, but also the other nights that also I was getting hurt. I was the people that I was happening to go home with, they were not treating me so well.
Your clients were not very cooperative or
Yes.
nice to you.
Yes, you know
in how they deal with you.
Yes, they were not nice to me. You know, the kind of thing, the kind of attitude that it's the money that I'm giving you that you are paying for. You know, it's not like there's pleasure in this. He's just doing that because he wants you to, like, to just pay for that money that he's giving you.
Are you
So-
open to share
so-
how much? Sorry. Are you open to share how much they charge for the shot or for the night? The cost of it?
Yes, they were charging 1,000 for a shot, and then
Kenya shillings?
no, rupees.
Conversion?
So, Grace, so the arrangement was that you get to India, and then this lady, I saw in the documentary you were calling her mom, right? Like that was the pseudonym. Like the mom is the person who you like who took your passport, right? And her name was Goldie, right? So Goldie was the mom, and she takes your passport. So the idea was for you to go out and do this job, which you hadn't signed up for in the first place, to pay her back the money that they spent to bring you to India, right? Like that was the whole system. So when did they break it down that you have to pay back this money that we've spent to bring you to India? Was it immediately you got there, or was it an arrangement which they made before you went?
They told me when I arrived that night. You see, like when they tell me that, hey, those girls who refuse to pay, they're usually taken to the asker, and this happens. That's like telling me indirectly, but they're just telling me, like, this money, you have to pay it.
So the money they spent on you for traveling costs and all that, the flights.
Yes. Which
And,
they said was 270,000.
And I read also from your piece, Nyasha, that the figures are gravely exaggerated. So, and even if you get to pay for it, they still don't let you off, right?
No, I mean, our calculations, 270,000 is grossly over exaggerated. And even when Goldie came forward and said it costs 80,000 to bring a woman, when she was encouraging Grace to bring a woman to India, we know she didn't spend that amount to pay for Grace's travel, because
Yet she's asking for that.
because she had bought the ticket using a travel agent, and it had been paid using a stolen identity, so someone else paid for that ticket, but they didn't pay for those tickets. So it's like a whole scam that in the end, when you really calculated, they think they spent probably $150 and then
Good Lord.
So they actually, even if you get to pay it, they'll never return your passport.
no, that's not true.
No, after you're done paying, they give you back your passport.
Yes.
But now the problem here, it's where the problem comes in. They give you back your passport, and your visa is expired.
And you've not even gone to renew it, so you're in trouble
No,
already.
no. They did not renew. It's like they know there's no way you will finish paying this debt
Yeah, 'cause it's
within 2
crazy.
months.
Yes.
They know. So they told me that before I left Kenya, she told me that it can be renewed. But then when I got there, and then I thought she's already making arrangements on renewing it, because
Given that
already
she has
I'm
your-
past 2 months. You understand? But then that day when I went to get the passport, and I asked her about the visa, because now you see I have to rent a house. I can't do that without a visa.
Yes.
So I asked her for the visa, and she said, okay, what I meant when I told you about renewing visa, I mean you just take a fake one. That's what she said.
Now
You
she's
see,
learning
I'm
into
already
more-
stuck. I'm already there. And she's not even apologetic. She's just like, she knows she's already messed me up.
So-
and you're in more
That's
trouble as you
crazy.
go.
Yes.
So you're stuck. You're in India. You're doing a job which you don't want to do,
Yes.
and you didn't even sign up for it in the first place. You have they've lied about the visa. At what point did you get in touch with Nyasha, and what made you get in touch with her?
Nyasha, actually, she contacted me just a week after I was in India. She sent me a link of the sugar daddy. It had just been released then. So she sent me a link, and then she asked me if I was okay. And I told her I wasn't. I was not even in Kenya. I was in India, and I wasn't fine. So I opened up to her, and I told her what I was going through. And as a caring friend, and I knew she was going to help me out. But now the problem is I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even do the filming then, because it's like I'm locked up. I can't do anything. I can't even move. If I move 5 steps, they're already calling me. Where are you? What are you doing? Who are you with? How much is he paying? If I stay long, they're already counting money. They're already saying, now you have to know how you're going to get that extra money, because we know you are with someone, but you are not giving us the,
The
money.
money.
So
Yeah.
anytime
In fact,
you're
they were
not
saying
with-
you're stealing our money. That's what
anytime
they
you're
were
not
saying.
with them, they
So it's like they
think,
own you all of a sudden.
Yes.
what?
Yes, like it's like I'm now the bad person. I'm now a thief. Like if I stay long, maybe let's say I've gone to a friend's house and we've talked, and then I've gotten late a little. She's like, no, you are with a man. I know, and she knows very well I wasn't with a man. But she's just doing that because she doesn't want me to have any freedom of any sort, not even to have connection with people, to talk to other girls,
To speak out to anyone.
Yes, like even the new girls, they were being kept together. They were being told, don't talk with the people who have already finished paying debt.
Oh.
Like they just want you to be like desperate, a group of desperate people. There's nothing you can do. You just think there's nothing you can do. You're just there, you know. So the whole challenge and everything, I couldn't do the filming then. So I just told Nyasha, I can't do this right now. I'm so scared. Like I was really, really scared. And I just told her, I even tried to block her number because I was like, she'll put me in trouble. Because I was
anytime,
like,
she calls.
yes, if she calls and Goldie is there, what am I going to say? And I'm scared. I'm just a few weeks. Like now I was like 2 weeks because we had chatted for some time, and then now she suggested about that secret filming. So I told her I will just contact you back. So when I finished paying my debt, that's when now I got back to her. I told her now I have my freedom. At least I've rented a house. I'm living somewhere else. I'm no longer living with Goldie, so they are not supervising me every time. Now I can do this because I also thought about everything I went through. Yani, the things that they did to me, the way they didn't care even when I got hurt. Because
Sorry, darling.
all they cared about was their money. They just cared about when you come home, they want to take what you've worked for the whole night. And sometimes they even like, no, we have to contact people, see if you're lying to us, you're stealing from us. And that's the reason why they even reported me to the ASCAN. And I saw the chairman, and the chairman threatened me because he told me that a case was brought to him that I am refusing to pay the debt. And I should know that he's watching me. That's what he said. So they just made my life in India so miserable, and I was so scared. Like even talking to people, saying anything, I just wanted to keep quiet to myself.
Do you know how long
yeah.
the madam has been in India doing this?
When I was in India, she had been there for like 2 years. Yes.
Nyasha, when you got the message now from Grace, she told you that like now to get over there. Number one, I'd like you to explain to us and the people who are listening more about this ASCA network thing, and how you how you went about doing the filming, because the filming is so like it's scary to watch. You're like, hey, they're gonna even see her with the camera. Like it's
Yeah.
one of those things. So number one, who are those? Could you tell us more about that network?
Right, ASCA. ASCA stands for the All India Nigerian Students and Community Association. And so at first we were just hearing about ASCA in a very informal way through other women along with Grace, as a sort of like intimidating body that they mediate all these disputes with their madams, and what does that mean? So then there was a specific person in this area, in this neighborhood that we were focusing on, Tuklakabad, who was the chairman, who we then learned his name was Eddie, and he's basically officially appointed by ASCA, as we then later found out. And they maintain that their relationship with him is in accordance with, Nigerian and Indian laws. And they're there for the purpose of, organizing with the Nigerian diaspora in Delhi. But for us, it was more of, that's all well and good, but it looks like we have recordings of this man threatening Grace. He is telling Grace that you have to, bring another madam, because another madam had lost a sex worker that she thought she was going to get. He was exerting some type of force over things that are illegal. So that's why we went to try and ask him face to face, like, is this what you do as your role as the chairman of ASCA? We also contacted ASCA themselves officially to say, is this person someone that you're affiliated with? In which they had their response, and the same with the Nigerian High Commission, who works with ASCA in terms of like providing support to the Nigerian diaspora.
So so he's like for lack of a better term, like the pimp. Like he's like the master pimp in charge of the area, and then everyone who's operates under his umbrella.
That's what it appeared to be to us, because there was no one else that seemed to have more power than him, and everybody spoke about him in this very authoritative way. The chairman, like people very rarely used his first name, for instance, because he just sort of had that figure.
Mm-hmm. Does he come to the kitchen, or does he go to the kitchen also?
Yes.
The chairman?
Yes, he used to come to the kitchen. He also used to carry girls for work. Yes.
And since the document came out yesterday, what has been the feedback you get from people who've seen it, or has your family seen it?
Yes, my family has seen it, and I'm so happy because they are standing with me. They didn't even know I went through everything that I went through. They even cried when they watched that. And I'm really sorry to my mom for not telling her this before, but it's because I was so scared, and I didn't want to hear when I'm in India that something wrong has happened to my mom, and it's because of what I told her. Okay. So I just kept the information to myself, because I believed that somehow I know I will get over it. So I just didn't want to tell my family. I didn't want to tell anybody about it. I just said, it's okay. I can do this. I'm ready here. I know that a way is going to come out.
So, Grace, what motivated you to actually do the filming? Because I imagine you guys had a hidden camera of sorts. Mm-hmm. What was the driving force behind you saying, all right, I'm going to put myself on the line and go ahead and actually film these people? Because these are people you more or less knew now, because you'd interacted, the people who you interacted with for a while. So you felt like you knew them. Like what was your driving force for actually doing the filming?
Okay, I was really scared at first, and that's why I hadn't agreed to it. But then I thought about it so deeply, and I even told Nyasha, just give me time, let me think about this. And I thought about it so deeply, and I was like, at the end of the day, I know after Sugar had come, I was still kind of scared. People are going to think like this about me because this is another story coming out after just the first one they saw. They're going to be like, hey, this girl, what's wrong with her, But I just said, let me put all the shame down and stand up and talk about this, because either way, someone has to say something about this. And many girls are there. They are suffering. They are struggling. Wanna struggle really for real. So I'm like, that's not a life. That's not the kind of life we want for our babies. We want for our sisters. We want for ourselves. So I just put myself from what I had gone through and what I am seeing the other girls going through. It really inspired me a lot, because I was like, I have been through this pain. Why will it pain me until someone will be thinking ill of me out there and I'm telling someone something good? Ni sawa, they will think whatever they want to think, but this time they will think, but I will be doing what I am.
Message.
Yes, I'm passing my message. And my message is just to warn the girls to be careful about these good deals that are coming from abroad.
And Grace, we're very proud of you for doing that.
Yes,
we're very
awesome.
proud
You're
of
a very
you
strong
for
lady.
stepping out and
Thank
saying
you.
it. I want to come back and share with you, Nyash, and Grace also about how I thought trafficking was something done by other people far off, from the movies. I thought maybe it's some Russian or Ukrainians, so I'm shocked that, oh my God, trafficking is just happening, and it's
Right
being,
next door.
yeah, it's
But
being
it's
handled
happening
by
with people you know.
yeah, by people I know and people, who look like me. And I thought it was something far off. But, this thing has just brought it home.
Spice.
Minutes to 9 o'clock. We are the adults in the room. I'm in studio with Eric, Barbara, with myself, Emmanuel. And this is 94.4 Spice FM, right here in Nairobi, 96.0 in Nakuru. We're in studio with Grace Kaleche and Nyasha Kadandara. And we're talking about sex trafficking. And it's one of those stories which are, one of those heartfelt stories. And yes, we were talking about Grace's story. If you can dash to YouTube later on and watch the documentary, which is just out, Imported for My Body, the African Women Trafficked to India for Sex. It's a documentary by the BBC Africa Eye. And it's heartfelt. I was telling you guys before we went on the break that I thought, Eric, that sex trafficking and some of these things happen, and they're done by people far off.
Yeah.
In fact, the only local person I thought was involved was the agent, because I've had many stories apart from sex trafficking about people going to get jobs in Dubai. So they're told there's this glamorous job that's going to happen there, and then they go there and end up becoming slaves. Like you don't do the job that you're supposed to do, you become a slave. They take your passport, you're beaten up, you're traded. I watched a story about an app where they were using the app to actually sell domestic workers from house to house. So you're sold. It's actually just modern day slavery.
It is.
Supported by an app. So it's shocking that it's being done by Nigerians and Kenyans and Africans.
It really is. And as I was saying in the beginning of the program, that things would be happening right under your nose and you're very ignorant of them. And I think what Nyasha and Grace are doing is really, really phenomenal. It's what you're doing. I hope everybody can get to hear about it, so that the little girls who are unsuspecting, as Grace once was, are not lured into some of these schemes, because it's really heartbreaking. In fact, I'm trying to process the entire ordeal you went through, and I'm just wondering, good Lord, for 11 months, somebody calling you and asking what you're up to, and it's really devastating. And you're just, strength to you. Keep on keeping on. I was thinking about the government, both the government in India and the government in Kenya and East Africa at large. How, from the person who's done the story, would you want them to participate and get involved, if at all?
Well, I definitely think it's their responsibility to get involved. I think there's many ways. Number one, I think the people that at least we've identified who are criminals should be brought to book. I think there are a lot more other people that are in that network who need to be stopped from bringing more women into India. I also think that there are a lot of women who have an illegal status now in foreign countries in India who don't know how to come back home, because as we explain in the documentary, you're sort of caught in that situation where you're trying to run away from the police because you don't want to be arrested and then put into a deportation center where you could be there for months on end and then just be entered into society again, but you don't actually get to come back home. Or you're in a situation where you're being exploited because you have this illegal immigration status. So I think there's a lot of people who need help, because we were able to get Grace out, but not
everyone.
We can't help everyone, unfortunately, but we've told the story, and I think it's now up to the right people to help, to step in, international organizations, to say, okay, these are the amount of people, this is where you come to, this is how we verify who you are back in your home country, let's get you on a plane. And then once you get back home as well, it's not just about returning home. There's also a lot of psychosocial support that people need. You've been through a traumatic ordeal. There's someone who was basically treating you like they own you, like a piece of property. And how do you come out of that? How do you, regain your self-esteem? And also, what do you still then do to support yourselves? Because most of the women, and Grace can explain that to you, came because they were looking for a better opportunity to try and provide for their families. And after everything that they've gone through, they're going to come back to the exact same situation.
A question to add on what Eric was asking, because I noticed from your interview or from your documentary, you didn't really expose some of the people who were involved, especially on the local scene. Is that information going to be given to the authorities to try and deal with them? Right. Because that was not in the documentary, and I believe you know that. So is that something that, or is just something we're going to let it slide?
Oh, I don't believe in letting anything slide, but I think, we are only journalists and storytellers. And our job is to hold people to account through our stories, and we've done that bit. If the government wants to contact us, or authorities want to say, can you cooperate with us in terms of bringing justice, we will cooperate with them. But at the same time, I personally cannot go and look for the agents myself. We have our security to also consider. The whole documentary, as you can imagine, we had to constantly think about that and put Grace's security, at the highest level. It's not easy what we've done by any means.
I have a question, and like when you're, because I've realized most of these guys take away your passport. So is there a way, Grace, if someone takes away your passport, and you guys can also share, can you go to the local embassy and get another one? Like, is it possible to go to your local embassy and tell them, hey, these guys have taken my passport, or I've lost my passport? Is there a way to get another one? Is it possible?
Getting another passport is not possible, but getting help from the embassy, that one is possible, but also it has its own challenges. Personally for me, because I was too scared, and because I was in that I don't know, that my head is like nilikuwa nimefinywa hivi akili. I couldn't even think like kuna watu wanaitangwa embassy, you can run there, you can run there and go and ask for help. I was just too scared, and I let their threats cover my mind. Like ilikuwa, it's nothing I'm thinking about. I'm just scared because I have a daughter at home, I have a family at home that cares about me so much. So but the few girls who after I've completed paying debt, there's a girl that I had went to the embassy, and the problem was now that she stayed in the embassy. Even when I was coming back to India, she still hadn't come back home. At the embassy also, they are asking for money for the overstay, for
processing a passport.
Yes, everything. So she just told me, I'm still in the embassy. They're not doing anything so far, but the ones who had money have already gone.
So
but the ones who are remaining are the ones who we don't have money. So we are just sitting here waiting to see if the government is going to do something about us. So I don't know what happened to her later. I don't know if she came back home.
You
Yeah.
came back
So
home
it's a
how
story
long?
to the authorities who are listening, in regard to like doing something concrete when someone comes to the embassy, or with a valid complaint, because there's nowhere else you go, because that's now your home. Like hapa ndio kwetu kwa hiyo embassy. Like that's where my parents, or in quotes, are. So I ran back home and tell them, hey, huko inje, this X, Y, and Z is happening to me. Could you guys assist? Like that should be a clarion call to the authorities who are listening.
Absolutely. I think I like what Nyasha has said, that she's done her bit. I think now the onus is on the other person, and who is the people in authorities and the embassies, to carry and further this conversation, and even just try and investigate further, because she doesn't have the mandate to investigate. And it's a crying shame if somebody has gone in distress to an embassy and then they're not doing or flinching or doing nothing. That's terrible.
Do you think, guys, that before people travel to specific destinations, there should be a heavy roadblock at the in regard to the travel requirements to a specific country? Do you think that would help? Like I say, all right, you're going. Where are you going specifically? Who is hosting you? Like they have stringent rules so that it reaches a point where it's not so easy to travel.
Firstly, I think those kind of rules are in
They're already
place.
there.
Oh, they are?
There are a
Yeah.
lot of places. I travel a lot, and people ask you all the time, where are you going, what your address is, and whatever.
Before
I
you
mean,
leave?
Yes.
Yes, but
Even
not
for work.
everybody verifies that information. Number one, is the address actually real? Who actually stays at that address? There's some places, some like immigration services that do that, but not everybody does that. So I don't necessarily think that's the key. Also, I don't think I'm cautious about those type of rules then make it a barrier to entry to travel, and travel is not a bad thing. That's not what we're trying to say in this documentary and in general, that no, don't go to India. That's not what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
We're going to say, if you are going to go, be very careful about what you're going to do there, and that should apply whether you're going down the road versus or you're going to India.
And she actually said something. I don't know if you listened.
It's almost
Andia.
9 o'clock, Barbara. Just hold that thought. We have 10 seconds to 9 o'clock. We're going to be back. We're talking about sex trafficking. Please, the lines are open, 0719012600. Please call in and tell us what you think.
Sugar and spice and everything nice. Sugar and spice and everything nice. Spice FM.
Spice up your life. They are smart, they are funny, and unfailingly entertaining. They are the adults in the room, and they are here to help you be the best adult you can be. Whether it is matters of the heart, finances, or work that's weighing on your mind, worry not. The adults in the room will help you stay winning. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
This is 94.4 Spice FM. It's exactly 9 o'clock, and today in the studio, I'm in studio with Eric, Barbara, with myself, Emmanuel, and we have some special guests who've come through today, Grace Kaleche and Nyash Kadandara. Thank you so much, guys, for coming through. And thank you so much, Grace, for sharing your story. I'm sure your story has more impact than you'll ever imagine it has. I'm imagining someone who's just, when I was watching it, I was imagining someone who's just about to travel. They're just about to head to take whatever means to the airport and leave, and they see that, then they're like, hey, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go because of this story. And thank you so much. The lines are open, 0719012600. We have these guests here for, not a very long time. So now is the time. So Grace.
A moment.
Yes.
You asked her a question. Let me just chime in on that. There's something about you asked about if someone gets scared or the authorities. One thing you should know, you cannot stop people from traveling, just as she said. And if you heard what she said in the first hour, just when she came in, she said the ways and means at which Grace managed to get to India, some of them she did not know, but the people who were organizing the agents had used people's identities to get them there. So sometimes, as you're saying, you might be applying for a job. You will not know that this is genuine or legit. Yes, it's good to say we need to cross-check further, but you cannot know what is being done by your agent behind your back. If I'm not wrong, that's
Grace,
what you're putting across.
Grace, what are the things that people should look out for when they get these offers? like that you can share, so that someone like the things that they should look out for when they're getting these offers to travel?
I don't know how to answer that because, yani, these things really are so good. Like, yani, they seem so true. So true. And I can tell you that this is how they say it, and then maybe they use another technique.
Yes.
Because I just want to tell people, you just be sure. At least have a letter of confirmation from where you're going to work abroad. Let them show you at least enough evidence, enough proof that that's what you're going to do. Yes, because about communication, I can't say anything. People are so good, they are so good in twisting things and making something look so real. So I can't tell you that they will come like this. They will tell you because they told me this, they told another girl this, they told someone else this, you see. So they come in different ways. Some of them, they even can tell you you're going to school. Some of them will tell you you're going for this, so many things. So we just have to be careful, and we have to be cautious about this thing before we travel out, because out there it's not like home.
Alrighty, 0719. I'm receiving your phone calls right now. If you have a call and a comment, you have the floor. 0719 the ladies who you'd be with at that place, did you leave any like the new ones who'd come in? Did you leave any that that you wanted to tell? Was that feeling of, hey, you've come to the wrong place, please get out of here? Did you ever have such conversations with the ones who've come?
Now that's the thing that made chairman tell me to stop telling people that India is bad.
I saw that on the clip.
Yes, because I was not shutting my mouth. I even sometimes almost got myself in trouble, because if maybe I'm seeing a girl and she's crying, I'm really feeling for you, I really went through that. And they don't want us to tell them that. They want us to tell the girls, the new girls who are coming, that, it's good, everything is okay, things will be fine, But I was just open. I don't want to lie to you. I'm just like, I'm really feeling for you, because what you've put yourself into. Even that lady, before she went to the airport, she was my friend. We were talking a lot, and I was like, "Ay, mommy, me." I don't know.
Goldie?
No, the lady that went to the
Embassy.
Embassy.
Yes, they went to the embassy, sorry. So when we were talking, she was telling me about what the madam was doing to her, and I was like, I'm really feeling for you, because I went through the same thing, and it's like those madams are the same. As long as they are just like, they want to get their money,
They're making money from you.
Yes, so they are just strict. They mistreat people. And the funny part is, they're not even being good to you. They're not even making you feel at least at home. It's like they're not even letting you rest. They don't care whether yesterday you came with 10,000 or you came with 9,000 or you came with 1,000. They don't care. What they care about is, you have to get up, we have rent to pay. Yes, tomorrow,
And do
next
they
week,
work, those madams? Or you're the ones who work for them?
Most of they only used to work when they see that maybe that time me and my sisters we've not brought money home like the way you used to, or maybe the rent is almost. That's when now they also go to the kitchen.
All right, let's the deck is lit. Let's listen to some people out there. Spice FM, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. Please switch off your radio so we hear you clearly, sir.
Okay.
So what are your thoughts?
I think these guys are doing wrongly to our girls here.
Hello.
Hello.
The connection was a bit off.
Please remember the house rules. Reduce the volume of your radio or your phone and opine on the topic.
Spice FM, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good.
What are your thoughts?
Okay, this is Walter.
Yes.
I'm from Kisumu.
Yes, Walter.
Yeah, this thing I think it's very even in our country,
Yes.
I think this sex trafficking is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think of this thing called escorts. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, they're in our country.
Oh, you think it also happens locally?
Yes, it happens.
Mm.
Because if you Google,
Yes.
there's this thing called Nairobi hot something.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of ladies there. You call and you go to their rooms, yeah,
Mm.
and you pay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I feel this thing is also in Kenya, and
Yeah.
also you can find some other ladies who are from Ethiopia, Saudi Arabia. Yes, they're in our.
Yeah, it's also hard to find out the circumstances in which they're here. It's a valid point. Let's pick another phone call. Spice FM, hello. Hello. All right, that's someone who's listening to themselves on the radio, maybe. Hello, Brian.
Yes, how are you, sir?
I'm good, brother.
You keep my number on your calling list, huh?
Yes, it's there, man. Caller number Brian.
I'm calling from the Situation Room. Yeah?
Oh, cool, man. What are your
All
thoughts?
right, look. My thoughts are basically that, number one, Grace, you whatever you have done is courageous. Yeah?
Thank you.
Secondly, you have armed the individuals. Yes?
Yes.
You have given them a cause and a reason to fight against their oppression. Yeah?
Yes.
Now, Grace, will you give me permission to put some humor into this situation? Because I know how dramatic it was for you. But would you give me permission?
Yes.
There was a TV show in the United States in the 70s by the name All in the Family with Archie Bunker. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
He was asked one time, how do we deal with this plane hijacking situation when there are 350 passengers and one of them gets on the plane with a gun? Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Archie said it's very simple. You just arm all the other passengers. And when this guy stands up to pull his gun, he's now got 349 guns pointing at him. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You have armed the individuals. You have made you've given everybody the ability to fight against this type of oppression. Yeah?
Thank you.
I have a 7-year-old daughter. The last thing I want to do is ever think about something like this happening to her. Yeah?
Yeah.
So, carry on. And by the way, you guys, I listen to BBC religiously. Yeah?
Thank you.
Except for the Situation Room, and then obviously I'm listening right now. Yeah?
Thank you for plugging in.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Brian. Oh, man.
We know a heartfelt phone call there.
Yeah, man. We also know where the competition is going.
Next to Eric. We're not naming names.
Let's keep on with the phone call. Spice FM, hello. Hello. Hello, Spice FM. Hello.
Spice FM, hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, this is Chris from Eldoret, Kisumu.
Chris, you have to talk louder, brother, so that we hear you. What are your
The
thoughts?
nation is listening.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you, Chris. What are your thoughts?
Oh, my brother, I think these agents are doing bad to our cars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they should be brought to book.
Yes.
And those guys have to be dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
And then we advise our girls not to look for those guys and look forward to work in our country.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Chris, let's try and squeeze in another phone call. Hello, Alan.
Hello, man. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good.
How is Kisumu City?
Kisumu City is fantastic.
That is good, man. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, first I want to congratulate that. What's her name?
Grace.
Grace, how are you, my sister?
I'm fine, thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
26. That's almost my age mate. Okay, you still have a long way to go, and the mistake has occurred,
Mm.
and you rebounded back, and you smarted out of it. That's the bottom line.
Mm.
So just chart a way forward. Just look for something else to do, and God will open up for you ways.
Amen.
Thank you.
Because probably most of the reasons that push people, especially the youth in this country, to do this thing is the neglect of youth in this country. Probably you want to pay bills, you want to bring up something, but you don't have a job. You knock all the doors, there's no job. So somebody can think of maybe if they go out, they will get something better out there.
So true.
Yeah, but the bottom line, you smarted out of it. Just find something else to do. God will open up for you way, and you'll
Thank
be
you.
the best person.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Emmanuel,
Yes, sir.
thanks for the show. Personally, I'm religiously listening to the Situation Room in the morning and all your programs.
All right. Thank you for listening in,
Say
brother.
hi to the Duchess of Angoa.
The Duchess of Ikolomani. Hello to you too.
Yeah, good evening, my sister.
Thank you for plugging in.
Alrighty. Eric, do you have any thing that you want to chime in from the callers?
No, just, I really appreciate that they are very sensitive and it's really heartfelt. I think more of these conversations need to be had. And I just wanted to quickly remind you that you can contribute to the conversation on Twitter as well. We are at at Spice of MKE, and the hashtag is Adults in the Room. So you'll sample some of your tweets as we go along.
Yeah, we will. What has been the reaction so far to the documentary? Any reaction in the last 24 hours?
Well, I
Or you
think
still? Go
we
ahead.
have seen a positive reaction from a lot of people who are very understanding, who are in awe of Grace's bravery and courage to be the one to, tell the story, because up until now, no one else has. And, even though that comes with the risk, still be able to do that. And I think that's been very nice to see.
And it's just getting started, man. I'm sure the reaction is gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger, because it's a powerful story, man. 94.4 Spice FM. We're gonna take a break and listen to some Monica. We are in studio till 10 o'clock. Now I'm gonna share something when we come back. All right, Monica, and then I'm gonna share something when we come back. 94.4
The song
Spice
is for
FM.
Monica.
Spice.
Voices. She reminds me of this lady who died, Aliyah.
Aliyah.
Yeah, Monica reminds me of Aliyah and Brandy. Yeah.
God is very wise to not have gifted me with the gift of singing.
That is
Sorry about
true.
that.
I agree.
Because if I could sing, Barbara, I would
I
never
know.
speak in my life. I'd be giving
Even
instructions.
sings for us when he's not supposed to be singing. In between things, he sings.
Speaking of singing, Grace, you've sung a song.
Yes.
You've written a song, rather.
Yes.
Do you want to do for us, what's it called? Acoustic? Yeah.
Um,
What is the song about, first of all?
I wrote the song when I was in India.
Yes.
That time I didn't really know, I didn't know I would come to be home on a day like this. I thought that on a day like this, I'd still be in India, still walking up and down, going to kitchen to kitchen, getting tired every day, because I was like, no, this is not my life. I'm just tired of this. So this song, I just wrote it. It's like, I just wrote it to show people that I was feeling there's a light, and the light came. So they should just be hopeful and believe that the light is coming also on their side. It's called The Chosen One. Yeah, so I'm just going to do a little...
All right, go ahead.
Okay. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's gonna shine on me soonest. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm gonna show it to the world. Everybody thinks that I am just an ordinary girl, thinks that I am just a tiny little girl, but I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm the chosen one, and I will sing it to the world one day. Up and down I have walked, so much I have seen. Now I see the light, it's shining in my eyes. I have hope in what I see, 'cause yesterday was not like this. And the chosen one is grace, yes, it's me. Everybody thinks that I am just an ordinary girl. Thinks that I am just a tiny little girl, but I'm not. I'm the chosen one, and I will shout it to the world one day.
Grace Kaleche,
Yes.
you're not an ordinary girl.
Oh,
And you are the chosen one. Believe that in yourself. The same way you've sung, believe it. I believe it, so you need to believe it.
Thank you. I do believe. Thank you.
So, Grace, any last word? Because I know you guys have to fly.
You've had a long day.
Any last word? And before Grace, you give us the last word. I want to ask Nyasha if you have what challenges very quickly did you face when you're doing the documentary, and do you have that feeling for man, I wish I could get each and every one of those girls?
I think the many challenges are, number one, we didn't get to expose all the people behind this network, because it's not just the people who we featured in the documentary. It's much wider. It's been there for years. And I think in order for justice to be done, it would have been great if we could have dug more. And I think the second challenge I think we had is, doing secret filming, working undercovers can be a very stressful environment to work in for a very long period of time. But we worked safely to be able to get the story. So I think those, I would say, were the two things, but it was worth it in the end.
Yeah, it was worth it, most definitely. Grace, how did it feel? Okay, no, guys will watch the documentary and they'll see it. How did it feel when you landed on JKIA and you're just driving down towards your place?
It felt like it wasn't me. It was just someone else. Like, I don't know. That day, I couldn't even explain what I was feeling. I was just like, no, let me reach home first, sleep, wake up, and then tomorrow, ask me how I feel. I will tell you. And right now, I can say how I feel because I have rested. Like, unaona ile where I was feeling like I was oppressed, sikuwa na freedom. Like, right now, I am feeling a very, very big difference, and I am so happy. I am with my family. I am seeing my daughter. My mom is there. I'm just so happy. So happy. I can't say just how much.
There was once I traveled to Nigeria, and the way traveling, there's no place like home. So when I came back, I was so happy to see a Kenyan policeman.
Me too. I was feeling like that.
You felt Kenyan policeman.
I was telling Nyasha also.
I felt like hugging that Kenyan policeman.
I know, me too. Like, I was telling Nyasha, these are Kenyans.
Yes.
These are Kenyans. So in the vehicle, we were coming home, and I'm seeing someone. I can't believe all these are Kenyans.
You're used to seeing different
I'm
people.
just seeing. I was used to seeing only Indians, but now I'm checking. I'm looking around me, and I'm like, Nyasha, when I wake up tomorrow, remind me that I'm in Kenya, because I think I'll forget. But I was so happy, and I was just like you. I was even feeling like going to hug everybody.
Yes,
I'm home. These
Check
are
him
my
to a
people.
piki. Habari yako mtu wa piki. But welcome back, Grace, and thank you so much for your story.
There's someone I would like to read a comment for Grace. She's called Gatana Michael Mochira. Grace, I salute you, girl.
Thank
Congratulations. I lived in Hong Kong and Thailand, and we have so many Kenyan girls going through the same things you have told us in school. And when you go there, it is different. So, Grace, I know the pain. It is scary, but you are safe, and God bless you.
Amen. Amen, and thank you so much.
Yes, any last word?
Yes, my word is, we talk to youth so much. This time I want to talk about, I don't want to specify, but I want to talk about that someone else apart from the youths. That person who has the ability to help. That person who has the ability to give opportunities to these young people. Because we need opportunities. We don't need just your warning. We don't need just your word that you're coming here and then you're just judging us. You're just like thinking we are the worst of people. Why don't you just open a way for us and see just how smart and beautiful we are?
You've said it. You said it better than anyone would ever be able to say it. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Nyasha, for doing that awesome work and being very brave. You almost made me hide under my couch when you were talking to that Nigerian guy.
Yeah, and serving him papers. God.
I was telling Nyasha during the break that I was scared for you, Steve. Yeah. When you walked up to the guy and like, we have evidence that you've been cohabiting with it. I would like to see the evidence.
And then she removes this envelope and I thought the guy would slap me, to be very honest. When I was like, oh God, you don't have protection.
You remember when in high school you'd talk to the movie? You remember?
Yes.
Stop talking to him. Okay, move back. So, thank you so much.
I was ready for a fight for you, man. I was ready for a fight.
You didn't have protection.
We would have gotten.
I did.
Me, I would have gone with someone like Eric with his big shoulders. I can't do those things.
You know, I'd clenched. I was watching bits of it at the gym, and I'd clenched my fist so hard when that guy was talking back to you. I was like, oh my God.
You wanted to beat him?
Yeah, I was just like, choke that guy! Squeeze his throat! Squeeze it!
Squeeze the
Let
chairman.
him die! So when I saw you here in flesh, I was like, thank God that's
She managed.
Oh my
Eric
God.
could have missed work today. Jackie, no, I'm going to Nigeria. To India. I'm going to India.
I'm going to
I know
fight
those are things
with
Eric
my-
is very conversant in. He will deal with you.
I'd have shouted him out. You know, one of my gifts is shouting. Eh? Stop talking to that woman like that, you! Do you know who we are, you?
You now agree. That's why God gave him that gift. He can't sing. That's what he was given.
Oh my God.
Oh, you made us laugh today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming through.
thank
I'm
you
going to
for
let you
watching.
guys step out. Meanwhile, I'm going to leave you with some Luther Vandross, and then we'll be back.
Spice.